With me is Alister, and Alister, you've got a 1942, the beginning of the war, Jailbar Ford. Is it called a Jailbar Ford?
I originally understood that they only called it was a jailbar, was a New Zealand slang for them.
Oh, right.
But no, they are known now as jail bars in the States as well.
Oh, right.
Very, very common here. Probably
Sure.
the most prolific survivor.
Yes.
And only in the last few years in America have they actually started liking the jail bar, because the bonus belts and all that run out.
Okay. You've got this as an articulated truck, and when I got my heavy trailer license, my first job was driving an Arctic for Prescott's Transport. It was at an Austin 1957 FF cab over Austin on it that pumped out lots of black smoke and went up the deviation at about 5 miles an hour, maybe slower. But you could certainly stack a lot of material on that deck. And I spoke to another old bloke who had what did he have? He had an Austin as well, but an older one. And when he started the trucking business, everybody said, get an Arctic. Get all the weight all measured out nicely, and you can cart more, and it's more comfortable for you in the cab.
Mind you, you've got to bear in mind though, in those days, they weren't in the hurry. Nobody was in the hurry like we are now. You know, bearing in mind, a 3.5 litre engine, basically a Ford V8 car engine, and your Austin, they weren't overpowered. You know, if you had 75, 100, 120 horsepower, hell, you're a king of the road. You know.
And the GMC turned up. I don't think it was as powerful as this. Just after the war, they went into the logging, but these were doing the logs. The bonuses were doing the logs.
Yeah, the advantage of the GMC, of course, with Gillies got all that contract of GMCs from the government.
Yep.
When incidentally was based here, of course, in Oamaru. Majority of them being 6-wheel drive 6x6s. That really just opened up country that was just not accessible to normal trucks.
Sure.
There is the occasional Ford Thornton tandem drive ones, pretty few and far between. The Thornton is that extra drive system, and going to the twin axles, or tandem drive as we know it nowadays. Yes.
Because through the 50s and 60s, the 2-speed Eaton diff was normal.
Yes.
You know, that's what they had.
Well, your 2-speed diff pretty well comes right through. By the mid-80s, it had disappeared. Multi-countershaft gearboxes like Road Rangers had come along.
Yes.
And it sort of rendered 2-speed diffs obsolete.
Yep. And now they're automatic.
We won't talk about those. Real trucks have 3 pedals and a stick sticking up through the floor.
Yeah, or 2.
I tried driving a Joey boxed International in Australia, and no, not for this kid.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Now tell me about, back in my day, we had little mirrors about this round.
Yeah.
And they stuck out the side, and 9 times out of 10 you couldn't see what the hell was coming. We were very shocking. And as I say, I drove a series Bedford, which towed a lion cage, which towed a 2-axle caravan for the Ridgeway Circus. And we had the tent on. You got no way of seeing what's behind you with these 2 little stupid mirrors. And I see you've got a couple on there.
Yeah.
How do they?
Let's classify them as barely adequate.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But what they had at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're keeping them in pace with 1942.
But then you can have the attitude that what's behind doesn't matter. At least you're out in front.
That's right. Exactly. So now we're looking at something that looks like it's come out of a hot rod V8 car.
Yeah, well, the modern trend, Bill, is hot rods with 20-inch wheels. Well, Bill, this is my hot rod with 20-inch wheels.
Fair enough. This Elderbrock, how do you say that?
Edelbrock. Yeah. They're just one of the American high performance part manufacturers.
Right.
But it's just a dead stock 351 Cleveland that was imported by Peter Woods at Charlton Auto Imports in Gore.
Yep.
And the only thing I've done to it is just to tidy it up. I had a 2-barrel manifold, I put a 4-barrel manifold on it, and the chrome rocker covers.
Yep.
You know, just
looks the part.
oh yeah. It looks
And this keeps you up with the normal traffic.
Oh yeah, with the diff ratio being changed, we put a D series Ford diff head into a Jailbar housing, changed the gearing. It's quite comfortable at 85k, 90. It will go a damn sight quicker, but then so does the gauge on the dash.
Yeah,
from
so
it
goes down to enough.
Yeah. Funnily enough, it does about 10, 11 miles to the gallon.
So when you look at this truck and that truck over there, they are the same size. Or this looks bigger.
No. This is what them. That's just a pickup.
Yep.
Now there was another one heavier than that called a 1-tonner, or there was a 3/4 tonner for a while, and they went on to 17-inch wheels.
Yep.
And then the big trucks, what they called the 1.5 tonners, they go to the big full-size wheel.
Yep.
And you might notice that the wheel arch opening for the tyre is different.
Right.
These have a bigger opening for the bigger wheel.
Yeah.
And all your American Ford trucks through the 30s and 40s and into the 50s, they shared all the same cabs and panel work, and that was just how they done it. Yeah. Now that one there in particular, Bill, is a very unusual truck. That is a side valve 6-cylinder.
Oh, right.
And most people will tell you, oh no, them Jailbars are all V8s. Well, there was quite a number of those in this size truck in New Zealand were 6s.
Oh.
And if you speak to any of the old guys that drove bloody old Fords in the day, they will tell you that the side valve 6-cylinder engine was a far better performer in truck service than the flathead V8.
Oh.
The side valve 6 is 226 cubic inches, where the V8 was 239.
Wow.
So the 6 delivers you a far better torque.
Yep.
So that's why they were, but very few 6-cylinder ones now survive.
Right. So this is just the standard instrument panel of the time.
Yep.
4 gears or 5?
Yeah, no, it's the original 4-speed crash change gearbox.
And the little buttons just to put it in reverse?
It's just a reverse lockout.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And this is comfy, the steering? It didn't get you in the guts, because a lot of old Maori drivers had their their singlets worn out.
It gets a bit it can tend to get a bit wandery, especially on today's well-kept modern roads.
Right. I see you've got a dip switch on the floor there. Do you drive this at night much?
Look, it doesn't get used anywhere near as much as it should.
Right.
But yeah, it's having been converted to 12 volt, it's actually got quite good lights. Actually, very good light.
And do you like the dip switch down here rather than on?
Oh hell yeah, down there. It's the best place for it.
Absolutely.
None of this modern trends. No. Good God, you're old man. Come on.
No, I agree. That's where it should be. And this little button?
That's the for the wipers.
Oh, really? Just pull up?
Yeah.
Just one?
Originally a vacuum wiper, but now it's been converted to electric.
Sure.
There's nothing on the truck that it wouldn't even be a weekend's work, and you would put this truck right back to 100% of its original. I've got everything at home to do that. If the desire takes me to return it to 100% original, that's why the firewall's there's never been anything cut that we can't redo.
Alister, thank you so much. Alister and his Arctic, amazing. This is my new 2025 truck calendar. It's $28 and that includes the postage. And if you'd like a copy, just email me bill@billhoheper.co.nz and I'll get a copy away to you.